What's up, everybody? Hoang Zero here, and today we have a little bit of an announcement video for the next patch of DCGO. Joining me today, we have Zero Raven and Mike, our amazing lead dev. If you guys want to do a bit of an introduction.
Hey, it's me, Zero. You guys know me.
Hey, it's Mike. I'm the lead dev.
All right, and you all know me, Mr. Hoang Zero himself, Mr. Just Wanna Regional with best deck in format anime. Um,
Harry.
Carried is crazy, but jokes aside, we're really excited to talk about what we have coming out for this next patch of DCGO. I know you have all been waiting very patiently, playing BT15 way past when B16 came out, which, we thank you for your patience, and I promise it's going to be all worth it. But we have quite a bit to cover today, and the first thing we do want to talk about is BT16 being added to the sim. So we are going to have BT16, that patch 1.1, being rolled out this Friday, which the video is being recorded Monday, June 3rd. So Friday, the 7th, is when BT16 will be coming out. Mike, do you know kind of like roughly what time people can expect that?
I usually will try to push it out by around noon Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes it goes a little later than that, but I always try to push it out before I go to locals that night at 7. So,
All right. I mean,
Yes.
there
So
you
like,
hear it,
yeah,
right?
this Friday, you guys can get home from work, get comfy, get in your pajamas, and launch DCGO.
Yes. And so alongside BT16, which we have bug tested, there's I think it's like Mike said, there's two bugs that are still persisting, but they're not significant enough to delay us from releasing that patch. So I hope you're all excited for that. And other than just that, we also have a fantastic quality of life change, which I'll let Mr. Lead Dev take a lead on.
yeah, so the big quality of life change that we have done is we've kind of restructured how images work within the sim. So as of 1.1.2, where we release BT16, you will no longer need to worry about uh, hosting your card images and worrying about unzipping texture files and everything else that we are currently worrying about. We removed all that confusion. You no longer have to download those images. Uh, we do not store any images in the sim still, so we will use kind of scraper technology to a third-party source to grab images from their source because they have a very nice detailed outline of all images, all card effects, all card data. Um, so we're going to be using that from now on, pulling that information down and storing it on your local machine for use for DCGO. This new image structure also uses WebP files instead of PNGs. I know some people don't really like WebP files; they're a little complicated, but they are going to be better for the long run. One of the main features that WebP Files offers is they can actually have animations. So in a future update, you will be able to animate your cards and your
Yeah,
images, which will give your board a nice live feel instead of
right.
just static objects.
And as you all remember, Alex recently made an announcement to we were looking for artists in relation to 3D images and art. So this is essentially what that's for. We're probably gonna have some member of the team work on this particular feature, but again, it'll just be optional. So if you want to just turn it off and have a very simple, light game to run, then that will also be available.
Yeah, and I hope you're all looking forward to that. I know it feels really polished and it feels really nice, which I think a lot of people are excited for. And I know, the image scraper has caused people a lot of confusion because promos for whatever reason were not populating. So we, as the DCGO team, do apologize for that frustration,
Yeah,
but the community has been absolutely phenomenal in helping each other out and getting everyone to the point where you can enjoy DCGO. So thank you all so much for helping each other out. Um, Up next, we do have our next point, which is the the auto updater is down at the current moment. This is something we already announced in a previous video, but I just wanted to address that a little bit further. The auto updater, and the reason why it went down is because we got hit with an unexpected cost. DCGO was way more popular than we had anticipated, which resulted in the service that we were using at the time just blowing up, and charging us an absolutely insane amount for what was only 48 hours. Zero, if you want to comment on that a little bit more, since you're the one that got charged
Yeah.
initially.
Yeah, so we had some credit left over on that account because we kind of anticipated that it would be popular. We still way underestimated how popular it would be because within it wasn't even 40 hours. Literally within a 24-hour period, my car got charged $300, and that's like half the amount because we still had, I believe, close to 300 credit on the account at the time because we had credit in there just for alpha testing and stuff like that, and I think we used a very small portion of it. And the moment that we went live, all of that got burned through, and I got charged like day of. So that was interesting.
Yeah, and I think what's really impressive is at the start of DCGO, we were consistently like around the clock, over 1,000 players. Which, when you put it into perspective, that we're like zero advertising, not on Steam or anything. Like it's just a group of people that are just like, hey, here's a thing. Go have fun, and then like it blew up to over 1,000 like consistently. It's kind of crazy, right?
Right.
And so that was for BT15, which, mind you, is at this point an outdated format, right? Like I think everyone was tired of BT15 at that point because it had been several months since it had come out. And so even at this point, BT16 is officially out in English. People have been playing it for a couple weeks now, and we're still seeing over 400, 500 players at any concurrent given time, which is also still insane, right? Because you would think people would just be tired of it. So imagine what happens when BT16 comes out on the simulator, right? Surely we're gonna just blow up in numbers. So we are looking into upgrading the server capacity in anticipation of this population explosion. Currently, we can host comfortably about 1,000 people concurrently. We're going to look to expand to about 2,000, and if somehow we exceed that, which if we do, genuinely very impressed, we'll see what we can do from there. But
Yeah.
just
Just so be it. So the issue that you run into, where you try to start a game and then you get a black now loading screen, that's because the server's overloaded. So that's not the game being broken. So just if you run into that issue when BT16 launch, just know that we've hit server capacity again after doubling again, because 1,000 was double our initial amount already.
which was it was 500. Like
We initially had it at 500 and immediately double and still hit over that concurrent. So now we're trying to hopefully anticipate, the tide of people coming in. So maybe 2,000 is enough. Who knows?
I
We'll
am
see.
so happy you brought that up, Zero, because you just reminded me of another huge thing that we have put in to the new version that I think everyone's going to be really happy for. Backing out of matchmaking
oh yeah, true.
is currently in there and working, so there is no longer this endless loading screen. You could back out and you don't have to quit the game and get back into it. Yes, that's a very important one.
Yeah,
Almost forgot it.
that is a quality of life people have been asking for a couple weeks now. So that really happy to hear that's being added in. And I'm sure that when BT16 does launch, there probably will be technical errors. Whether it's like the client, just having a hiccup or like servers blowing up. I'm surely we'll run into certain issues. So please bear with us as we go through it. This is, at the end of the day, this is still a passion project for everyone. We're not some big corporation with endless amount of money to blow. So thank
Yeah.
thank you in advance.
Well, on that note, I also want to thank our alpha test team who's been doing a great job testing all the bugs for BT16. We have a smaller group of testers dedicated to testing alpha build just so we get, very precise information on exactly what's broken because they're pretty experienced tester at this point, and they've been working with us for a number of months now, ever since we went into beta development. So with that said, again, it's still a very small group of people, and I am sure there are bugs that has been overlooked, that has missed. So again, if you encounter any bugs, once BT16 is released and you confirm that's actually a bug, go to the Hoang Zero server, and we have a bug report thread that you can post it.
Yeah. All right, and now we're going to talk about the roadmap, which is public, by the way. So if you guys are ever curious about when certain things are coming out for DCGO, we have the roadmaps in the Hoang Zero server. It is pinned. Currently, we are about here, little diamond indicator. And that's, BT16 is coming out soon, and then we have the promos. And I correct me if I'm wrong. It's what the like the Sakuyamon, Maid Mode, Cyberdramon, Scramble. What other promos? Is there anything else I'm missing? It's like the LM3 pack, right?
No, LM. It's not necessarily going to be those because those are future set stuff.
Okay.
We're mainly going to be looking at like the Survive promos.
Yeah.
Things that
Oh,
came out recently that aren't in the
yeah.
sim right now.
Yeah, we can. I mean, we're not gonna add stuff that's not available in real life.
I honestly forgot those came out like around BT17. That's my bad, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so aside from like the sets being released, and do keep in mind that we're looking to release sets at minimum 2 weeks after the official English launch. And the reason for that is because we don't want to affect early Bandai sales. We want people to go out and support their locals. We want people to still purchase product. We want the DCGO simulator to give people a new way to play the game, but we also don't want to hurt the physical game. So do keep that in mind. And we even have a disclaimer at the start of the DCGO now when you fire it up that tells you that the simulator is free. None of the assets, properties belong to us. Digimon is entirely Bandai.
Yep.
And
don't buy anything, guys. You don't have to buy anything.
Everything is free, right? But go support your local game stores and buy product and whatnot, right? So
yeah,
that's something we're gonna constantly reiterate because it's really important to drive home. We don't want people to spend money on this sim. Go spend your money on Bandai's cardboard instead, right?
Yeah, this is like a project for the community. It's not for profit. It's not for commercial purposes. We're not doing anything with it. Just trying to play games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And the other actual reason that I know some people are gonna have their opinion on whether or not this delay is correct or not, but the actual practical reason that we're taking this approach is because, well, as you know, we're gonna have a merge between the sets, right? English format and Japanese format is eventually gonna merge within the next 8 months, something like that. And with
January
that,
will be all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with that happening, we don't have the luxury of releasing a set on time in the future to match the physical release date. Like that's impossible because we're gonna be getting car review at the same time Japan does in the future. And so by the time a set is fully revealed, we're gonna need development time and testing time to get all the car properly coded. So it's honestly just practical for us just to set, the standard now that a release for DCGO is going to be a few weeks after the physical release because it's going to be, that's what we'll have to do in the future because it's impossible for us to release same day. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then we also have UI improvements, and we do have somebody that specializes in UI UX on the team. But Mike, do you want to go a little bit more detail into what the UI improvements actually entail?
Yeah, so a lot of it entails around the main menu, the deck editor. We're not really changing any of the UI of the actual battle area, and when you're actually playing a game, it's just those menus leading up to it. Primarily the deck editor. So it's a huge overhaul to the deck editor. I think every single screen in that menu system is changing in some way, shape, or form. All for the better, make it a little bit clearer on where things are, how to search, and what you can search and can't search.
Yeah, and we have seen the I was gonna say we've seen the prototypes to what the UI improvements are gonna look like. It looks a lot cleaner. It looks a lot sharper. I think everyone's going to really enjoy that. And
Yeah.
go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say we're gonna show a preview as we get closer to that happening.
Yeah. Which, speaking of quality of life, inactivity timers, right? I know that's a really huge thing the community has been asking for. That's something we've been heavily pushing for as well on our end because one, we do have intentions to eventually implement a rank system. And so with comes a rank system, you need an inactivity timer to make sure that people are doing their turns properly and not just stalling for time. So I think that'll be a really great addition so that way you're not sitting there for 20 minutes on end because your opponent decided to just go eat dinner.
Yeah, the inactivity timer is really nice because it's not just the simple fact of we kind of stop slow playing and just people just bouncing and not disconnecting. It's the start of our ranked system. So it's where we're going to start implementing that as well. Obviously, that's for later on, but I know some people are going to look at this and be like, "Oh, why is that taking you 2 months to do?" Well, it's 2 months to do because we're doing it in between sets, and with our expedited set release that we're going through the next 8 months or so, it's going to be really hard for us to add in features in between because there's not going to be a lot of time. As soon as we finish BT16 and launch that
straight to
this
EX6,
Friday,
right?
we're immediately starting EX6 and putting that in. Like that, there is no time to stop. Like we have to go, and the same thing's going to happen after EX6. We're going to start BT17 immediately after, like because we have to, in order to finish on time. There's no other way. So all of these features that we're adding in on top of that are needing to be sliced in between. So when we have a slight lull in action, we'll be cranking on those. And I know we have on the Hoang server, we have a huge list of backlog items and feature suggestions that people are wanting for the sim. And I do need to get all of those in to this roadmap so that people can see when we might start working on something. But there are a lot. You guys all know what you want, you like what you want, and we're going to give it to you eventually.
Except chat. We're not giving you guys chat.
Except chat, no.
Yeah, that's not happening.
We are going to do icons.
Emotes, yeah.
Emotes and stuff, but that's about the extent of chat that we're going to do.
Yeah, we kind of deem chat to be like a little too toxic. So we're not gonna create that headache, right?
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, Hearthstone doesn't have chat.
So. Yeah. Legends of Runeterra doesn't have chat either.
No, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
From my experience with Hearthstone, you can be plenty toxic without using chat.
This is true. There's a whole emote mute button now because of that. All right, but then as you see, EX6 slated for June, BT17 in July, and then immediately right after that, EX7, Starter Deck 18 and 19. So like Mike was saying, no break whatsoever. We get a bit of a lull between September and October until 18-19, but again, Bandai's doing the combined sets, so what's really a quote-unquote lull is us doing 2 sets at once, right?
Yeah, 1.5 sets at the same time.
Yeah, so
they're splitting it, right?
Yeah, so that's a lot of work on our end. And then also ranked and custom match settings. So ranked is something that I'm sure everyone's excited for with the whole elo system. Who can truly become the best tamer on the ranked ladder, right? I think everyone's excited to do that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna put in a couple 100 hours getting that rank #1 slot. Not gonna lie, but other than that, we also have custom match settings. So this is something I'm sure Mike can go into further detail, but I know a lot of people want to kind of do like more for fun game modes, if you will, when they play with their friends, like whether it's turning off the ban list, which I know is super popular.
Very popular.
Yeah, right.
There's a ton of suggestions, ton of different features. People are like, hey, it'd be cool if we could do this and this and this. So in those custom matchmaking match settings for private lobbies, this isn't going to be for I'm going to find a random match with my custom settings kind of thing. You got to have someone directly to play with. and you're going to do a custom private room with your custom settings. We're going to try to add in as many settings as we possibly can to start with, but obviously we'll add more in as time goes on.
Yeah.
Custom ban list is probably going to be one of the first things that gets put in there.
Yeah.
Right.
And then going into our Q1 for 2025, BT 1920. So around here is probably we're going to be caught up to Japan. That's when I believe the format is going to merge. And then friends list, that is something that we're also looking into, so that way you can just instantly match with your friends. And then alongside that, emoji reactions, like Mike was saying, no chat, but you can just react to them. And that more or less covers our current roadmap. We're going to add the suggested features that people have already been talking about to the roadmap, so I'm sure it'll be much more populated down the line, but please bear with us because it's just non-stop, like set after set. So if some of these quality of life changes are taking a little bit of a back burner, please understand it's just because it's kind of a crazy time period right now, so we really do appreciate it.
Also, Bandai added a new mechanic every set, so
yeah. Like partition, collision, Phoenix X.
Dude, get me started on partition and collision. Oh.
Yeah. Mike gets to have, and his team get to have fun deciding on how to code every single new interaction Bandai decide to add, and the most random niche car end up being the issue.
Yeah, but hey, Lampmon works, right?
Lampmon is currently still in development. It is working. There's just a slight problem with it where if your opponent gives it a security check minus, it kind of
breaks,
shuts down, and cries.
Okay, well, Lampmon, it's kind of working. And I'm honestly kind of surprised how many people we get telling us about BT10 Tactimon. Like, how many people are actually trying to play Bagura, you know?
It's a popular deck.
It's a popular deck. It comes up kind of often in the meta. I mean, it was in Nats top tables.
Yeah, it was top 32. Yeah.
I am interested in how you're gonna code.
But the top 32 Nats list didn't even run Tactimon.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
We don't talk about
these. Yeah. I actually am interested in how you're gonna code Shaka. Where he turned all the security minus into.
I was gonna say Lampmon. If Lampmon was giving you guys problems, I can't imagine Shakamon being a cakewalk either.
Well, actually, that's funny you mentioned that because the fix that one of the devs has put in for Lampmon will directly affect the Shikua.
Yeah.
It will help significantly.
Okay, well, glad to hear.
How much of your problem would you say is solely due to yellow and purple?
I would say 90%. Every single problem card has been yellow or purple in some way, shape, or form.
Barring Phoenix X.
Phoenix X is the big one, yeah.
Well, honestly, Phoenix X seemed like a big problem, but it's going through alpha, and nobody's mentioned a thing about it.
Alrighty.
Nobody's found anything with it, so it's
I knew Mid was tearing his hair out trying to get Phoenix X coded, so that was funny.
Yeah, that's number one thing we keep finding quite often is that cards that we think are going to be super difficult are just okay. Now we could do this instead, and it'll do the same thing.
Quantumon.
Quantumon, yes.
All right.
It's just a matter of finding those little niche details.
Right.
But yeah, so I think we've covered just about everything. As a reminder, this Friday around noonish is going to be when that BT16 patch will roll out, so keep your eyes out. You will need to go ahead and re-download the new file from the file will be either in the video or the Hoang Zero Discord, so just heads up on that. And be sure to let your friends know, so when people are looking for the file, they know where to go. Okay.
Right. To add to that, the reason that you need to re-download is because the auto updater is obviously down, as we previously mentioned. We are working on finding an alternative hosting solution for that. So bear with us. It's going to be a little bit more time because we don't want to run into the issue again where we just suddenly get hit by a bunch of charge. So in the meantime, it kind of is a pain, but you will have to download every single new update that we release.
Yeah, which I don't expect too many updates every so often. It's mostly just like whenever a new set drops,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But other than that, is there anything else you guys want to say to the folks at home?
Nope. Thank you for supporting us and supporting the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for enjoying the game.
All right.
Hope to do a lot more features for you all.
Yeah, and with that, I think we're gonna bid you all adieu. Thank you all so much for your support, and look forward to this Friday. Take it easy, everyone.